Boom! Shake the room, Fire Nation. JLD here, and welcome to Entrepreneurs on Fire, brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network with great shows like Being Boss. Today, we'll be focusing on great opportunities in the non-food franchising business. To drop these value bombs, I have brought John Austenson into EO Fire Studios. John is a consultant, owner, investor, and author specializing in non-food franchising. He draws on his experience as a former Inc. 500 franchise president and multi-brand franchisee in serving his clients. And today, Fire Nation, we'll be talking about specific examples across a range of industries that you could be getting into in the non-food franchising space. We'll talk about how to select the right franchise and what costs are involved. And if you're fired up to learn more, we have that for you as well when we get back from thanking our sponsors. Ready to dig deeper on the creative side of business? Then the podcast Being Boss has you covered. Discover new tools to unravel the complexities of starting your own creative business with episodes on topics like building systems for freelancers and brand strategies. Listen, learn, and grow with Being Boss on the HubSpot Podcast Network at HubSpot.com/podcast network. Ready to build a smart e-commerce business on Amazon with help from a software that has your back at every step? Then take advantage of this great offer from Helium 10. Get 50% off your first month of a Helium 10 Platinum account at helium10.com/fire. That's HELIUM10.com/fire. John, say what's up to Fire Nation and share something that you believe about becoming successful that most people disagree with.
What's up, Fire Nation? Great to be back. Looking forward to our discussion, John. Something about becoming successful, something that I try to live my life by is, found in the book of Matthew in the Bible. It's to whom much is given, much is expected. And I think with success in different fields, and everyone defines it differently, ultimately, it's what you do with that success that truly defines success. And so to whom much is given, much is expected. I fail in that constantly, but I'm always trying to live up to it.
Fire Nation, wise words to live by. And John, welcome back. Hello. Last time you were on Entrepreneurs on Fire, you dropped value bombs galore on why franchising is often the best option for entrepreneurs. So Fire Nation, definitely take the time, go back, just put Jon, John in the search bar and check out the last episode. It was highly and well received by you, Fire Nation. So take a minute, remind Fire Nation of that chat before we continue.
Ultimately, as we hit on previously, franchising offers a better path to business ownership, I truly believe, for many would-be entrepreneurs and many existing business owners, too, that are looking to either complement their current business or diversify their portfolio, let's say. Have really enjoyed engaging with a lot of Fire Nation members since our last conversation, and looking forward to our conversation today. Some of those points I would say as to why franchising, and franchising isn't right for everyone. Some people are too entrepreneurial. They want to put their thumbprints all over the business. However, for many out there, they really see the advantages franchising brings of starting on third base versus first base, if you will. Much more beyond the brand. You've got a proven model. You've got a proven playbook. You've got a coach on the sidelines, if you will, in that franchisor who's got aligned interests to you. Something that oftentimes goes overlooked is all those other franchise owners around the country, or in some cases around the world. And they are testing, let's say, marketing vehicles in their market. They're finding the best practices around hiring. They're, finding faster routes so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So outside of just a franchise proposition and system, also be able to benefit from having a peer group who, also are aligned with you. The better you do, the more their local location is worth. So, definitely some benefits. And one thing I mentioned previously, you really go in with your eyes wide open. Nothing is totally de-risked. Obviously, it comes down to that operator. However, when you have the item 19 from the FDD, which shows here's the average financial performance across the rest of our franchise owners, that plus getting to talk to other owners through what we call validation before making that buying decision allows you to go in eyes wide open instead of just a back of the napkin pro forma.
Again, Fire Nation, lots of great feedback from you on John's episode. So definitely go check that out because he goes deep into those topics and some really valuable information is there. And what I am personally excited about now is we're about to get into some specific examples across a range of industries. So one thing we're going to make sure we're doing, Fire Nation, is whatever you might be interested in, we're probably going to talk about one of those industries here today so you can potentially see yourself making moves in that direction. So, John, give us some color on some of these specific industries, their financials, the niche, all that stuff.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit a top 10 list. These are 10 different businesses that Fire Nation members are currently engaged in exploring and talking with, and just really enjoyed it. And it's a diverse audience that you have. Everyone's got a different background and different interest level, different amount of time they can commit to the business. Within their given market, they see where the opportunities are. They also see where maybe there's saturation of concepts. So it's been a lot of fun to look at a number of different concepts, and this is just a small representation, but thought we could do this rapid fire. Feel free to hit me with questions, John, as we walk through these.
For sure.
Here's my top 10 in David Letterman style. So first off, something we talked about in the last episode is, people gravitating towards what I call, sexy is non-sexy is the new sexy. You have a lot of interest in those COVID resistant essential services, that serve a need out there in the market. Great example of that would be home services. It's over a $500 billion industry all in, growing quickly. It was growing prior to COVID. It's only taken off since COVID. But that's been very popular, somewhat recession resistant in some cases, definitely Amazon and tech resistant. And oftentimes what you're doing is you're taking a fragmented market, coming in with a brand, coming in with technology, marketing, buttoned up, and you're really able to disrupt in a way. Two good examples there. One would be a driveway repair and concrete company. And actually, they have a sister brand that falls under the same umbrella. So you can get two businesses for the price of one, two different brands. And that second business is garage floor coating. Rubberized coating. It goes on your decks, pool surrounds, retail floors. I've done 5 or 6 placements with these guys in recent months. I personally have invested myself. I love the model that much.
Yeah.
But this is one it's a straightforward, low overhead. You can get in for as little as $80,000. Don't have to have any background in that space. I mean, there's a lot of female owners that are bought in. It's just some really compelling margins. Even running it semi-absentee, you can do north of 40% on several $100,000 in revenue. So anyway, big fan of that one. They were recently bought by private equity. They're pummeling a good bit of money into the marketing on the back end. So that's one that we have some people looking at. Secondly, there's a newer one with just a couple of locations. It's a renovation business. And this is one that is looking for someone to go full-time. You would not be doing the work. You would not even be doing the designing. But what you do is you come in, oftentimes working with real estate agents as a referral source, come in and take pictures of the kitchen, let's say, in the bathroom. But I'd say the kitchen is probably your main focus. And then what cosmetic changes could be made? So countertops, backsplashes, painting, resurfacing. There are a lot of options that you can do for around $25,000 or so. And you've got the backing of a design team using 3D software up at Nashville. And so they're handling that piece of it. You work with a contractor on the fulfillment side. And so you really work that middle field, more of the networking, getting out there, supporting the Chamber of Commerce, Little League baseball team, getting your name out there. That is your main role day to day. They are looking for someone to go full time, but that's one that we're really excited about. Those are two examples in the home services space. Shifting over, the auto industry, from a macro standpoint there, electric vehicles get a lot of headlines. However, when you look at the percentage of sales, percentage of cars on the road, down the road, only 2% of cars last year sold in the US were electric. And that'll surprise a lot of people. When you look at over the next 10 years, only 10% of cars or less on the road will be electric. There's still a really long runway for that, basic oil change business. And so we've got a great founders that actually use unused parking spaces, the prefabricated buildings. You're able to get in for as little as $150 per location instead of a traditional $500,000 oil change. And so this is a big investor play right now. That's really a total semi-absentee, low employee count, 2 employees per location. And the financials are great. You're looking at roughly 330 average top line revenue per location with about 33% drop in the bottom line. So just a tick over 100,000. Just did a placement on this for 10 locations last week. It was a really big deal, but that's one that's resonating. And then one other one in the auto industry that we're excited about is it's a waterless car wash. And so the car wash industry in the last 100 years really hasn't been disrupted, hasn't changed. But there's a model that comes out of Europe. They're currently in 15 different countries, about 60 locations. And they've entered the US in a few markets. And what it is it's a spray that goes on a car. It deionizes, if you will, and then you use a positively charged ion cloth to wipe the car down. And it lifts the dirt and debris, giving it that sparkling car wash finish. And so what they do is they set up similarly to the oil change in retailer shopping center parking lots, in parking decks of office buildings. They are essentially looking to be the Uber, that's a popular term these days, but the Uber of car washes, where it can be on demand. They'll even come out to your home. And so that's a model that we're excited about. It's early on, about 7 locations in the US today, but they're getting a lot of attention.
See, Fire Nation, a couple things that I love about some of these examples are, number one, disruption. Like, look for something that's new, that's different, that's changing the industry. I mean, people are drawn to change, to the new. It's going to be buzzworthy. And then you provide them a good service. Why are they going to go anywhere else? I mean, that's such a key thing. And then I love their use of just like already existing parking lots and other things like that. Like, when you can go in and not have to like create the infrastructure yourself, but it's already in place, you're already many multiple steps ahead. So John, before we take a quick break and then crush through the other 6 you're going to be talking about here, real quick, let's not do a deep dive, because you're going to do a deep dive with some people that get in touch with you and the conversations you have, as well as on the last episode we did. But if Fire Nation's listening and they're just like, well, geez, even like that $80,000 number that you threw out earlier, like that's just unattainable for me. Talk really quickly about why that isn't unattainable.
There are different vehicles that you can employ, again, depending on your situation. So some people look to tap into their retirement funds, their 401k or IRA. We call it the ROBS program. I've got a great partner that takes clients through that. For those that have larger brokerage accounts, we can do a portfolio loan. And then a very common one out there is the SBA loan, either the 7A loan or the Express loan. I've got a great partner that does those for clients of mine, and all day, every day. And so there are definitely some government incentives around that, low interest rates. And so we see a lot of people, even if they have the cash, leveraging those. Where, let's say in that case of the 80,000, you might put down 20,000 cash. If you don't have 20,000 cash, let's be honest, it's probably not a good time to buy a business. Let's take a little bit of time to save up. But if you're able to put down 20,000, maybe have a little bit of working capital in the bank as well, then that 80,000 can go a long way on the SBA side.
Fire Nation, a lot more greatness when we get back from thanking our sponsors. One of the biggest misconceptions about being an Amazon seller is that you need to invent a product from scratch, and that's simply not the case anymore, thanks to Helium 10. The beauty of Helium 10 software is that it tells you what to sell, but Helium 10's powerful product research tools are just one aspect of how they help e-commerce entrepreneurs be successful. In addition, Helium 10 is an all-in-one software suite designed to help entrepreneurs launch, build, and manage a profitable business on Amazon. You can think of it like a business in a box with all the tools needed for every step of your journey. Helium 10 Platinum even comes with its own online training course specifically designed to take you from novice to master seller. We're currently using Helium 10 to help us manage our campaigns and optimize our listings on Amazon, and our team is loving it. Ready to build a smart e-commerce business on Amazon with help from a software that has your back at every step? Then take advantage of this great offer from Helium 10. Get 50% off your first month of a Helium 10 Platinum account at helium10.com/fire. That's helium10.com/fire. If you're looking for a virtual event that will help you grow your network and learn from global industry leaders across business, marketing, sales, and customer success, then you're in luck. Inbound 2021, hosted with Love by HubSpot, takes place online October 12th to 14th, and the lineup is amazing. Oprah Winfrey, David Chang, Spike Lee, and other greats will be dropping value and inspiration on a custom digital platform, giving you an online event experience like you've never seen before. This is the one event you don't want to miss this year. Sessions will include topics like breaking into uncharted territory, social responsibility at scale, and more. Grab a free starter pass to access all Spotlight conversations locations, or upgrade to a Powerhouse Pass for full access to breakout sessions, curated meetups, and on-demand content. Inbound 2021, hosted with love by HubSpot, takes place online October 12th to 14th. Find inspiration, explore the custom digital platform, grow your network, and learn from global industry leaders across business, marketing, sales, and customer success. Learn more about the Inbound 2021 lineup and register now for free at inbound.com. So, John, we're back. You've been dropping some value bombs about some specific examples across a range of industries in this wonderful world of non-food franchising. So keep up the heat, brother.
All right. Well, moving on down the list, how about we hit health and wellness? We've got a few Fire Nation members looking into this space. Prior to COVID, fitness, we were doing a lot of fitness deals. And when COVID hit, obviously that did impact some gyms. Now, a lot of them have been able to stay strong through that and are coming back even stronger than before. Within fitness, I like it when you have a niche, like a specific reason for being, and you're not just in the sea of sameness out there. One example of that would be a concept that caters to those that are 50 and over, which is the largest demographic from a financial spend standpoint. However, a lot of those 50, 60-year-olds don't like going to the big box gyms. And so this is a smaller footprint, 1,200 square feet, tons of technology that tracks your progress, gives you 30-minute workouts. You're able to get in and out, just great equipment. National brand, about 150 locations. And this is one that people have been resonating with also from a lower buy-in. So in this case, you're probably 200,000 all in per location. Again, different ways to fund that. And they're kicking off probably 250 in revenue with about 50% EBITDA margin. So you get that healthy margin, recurring revenue model. So we definitely see people attracted there. And then within health and wellness, I'd say one that has been really popular. It's an IV drip concept. And many of your listeners will have seen different takes on this out there. But the one that I've been working with has what's called a 797 certificate of compliance that allows them to administer really some neat potions, if you will, that fight free radicals in the body and boost immunity at the cellular level and reduce heavy metals. And so all those things that have always been important, but coming out of COVID are now just even more important. So I recently did a placement with a client where they bought the entire state of New Jersey. They're opening up about 12 locations there. And so we're seeing a lot of attention there. However, that's one where, if as the owner, you would have to provide a little more education to the community, to your potential members and customers versus some other concepts. So that might be one for someone that's a little more entrepreneurial. Moving along, another great category would be children and education. Again, prior to COVID, everyone loved their kids, cared about their kids, but even more focus on education now coming out of COVID. Now, this can manifest itself in a lot of different ways, different types of opportunities. Two that I really like right now. One is a swim school where you don't have to have your own pool. You can use a neighbor's pool and you essentially rent it from them, or the community pool or association pool. There are a lot of different options there. But people are continuing to have kids. Kids continue to need to learn how to swim, and the pool industry has been on fire. So there's even a larger need now. So really love that business. There's another one that Fire Nation member is looking at right now. That's more of a summer camp and clinic type business for younger kids, where they will come in and actually oftentimes serve during the school year, even as the outsourced PE or recreational partner of schools. They don't have to, carry that inside. Instead, it's more outsourced. In this role, you would not be the one leading these clinics, networking, again, sponsoring the Little League baseball team, getting your brand out there, working on the business, not in the business. I mentioned home services earlier. Property services, which is kind of a broader category, inclusive of home services, but maybe where it lends itself to B2B as well. Property services is definitely an area that a lot of people are gravitating to, in which, think about like the ServPros of the world. I've got a great concept that plays in that same space: water mitigation, mold remediation, restoration. Massive industry, COVID resistant, Amazon resistant. And these guys have just incredible numbers, John. They're averaging a couple million in revenue per location with very healthy bottom lines. And so definitely the numbers attract people more than the type of work. No one's ever grown up and said, hey, I want to be in the restoration business when I get older. But this is one, they've sold 150 locations year to date, just absolutely on fire. Great leadership team, great model. Territories being defined as by population or number of addressable businesses or number of households with an income above XYZ. So people come in buy 3 territories or 5 territories. However, you can buy as little as 1 territory. So that's one that's resonating. People like the B2B component because you're mainly networking with property managers, landlords, real estate agents in some cases, insurance companies. So for people with B2B sales background, great opportunity. Another one would be AI-driven junk and waste removal service focused on multi-family apartments and condos. Again, great numbers on this one. I'll keep it kind of high level, but people like B2B oftentimes even if you're ultimately serving consumers, tenants, of these apartments and condos, they like the fact that who your customer is as the owner is that owner, that landlord, property manager. And then finally, this would be for some of the maybe more well-heeled investors out there. I try not to focus in food just because it's a whole different world. I focus in these other industries. However, every now and then one comes along that at least is on the periphery. And so that I have to jump into. And there's one right now. It's a drive-through coffee concept, 15 corporate locations, just started franchising. They're actually building out 500 corporate locations, 50,000 square foot distribution center. Amazing numbers, $1 million revenue per location, 28% EBITDA margins, if we were looking at the details, but just has some unique reasons to being from a supply chain standpoint, using that coffee bean, the excess fruit around the coffee bean to create naturally caffeinated energy drinks. So this is one that we're really excited about that they'll become a household name here very shortly. One like this, you're probably in about $1 million per location. So it's not right for everyone, but for someone that is looking to do multiple locations that, has money to burn, something like this can definitely be of interest. And let me throw in an 11th one just for fun. Business coaching. Business coaches there's a massive need out there in the market for them, especially ones that have some kind of background. And they don't have to be C-level, but if they've learned some expertise within a given industry or a given demographic, they can kind of differentiate themselves. That's really a great route. And there's a franchise out there that offers the ability to wrap yourself in their brand, have all their methodologies and curriculum and assessments, and really, again, start on third base versus first base, but leverage your background. And you can be in your 30s. If you've got some unique to offer, to others, coaching could be a great way to, put in 10 to 15 hours a week on the side, and have 8 to 10 clients. They're each paying you somewhere between, $2,000 and $5,000 per month. You're trading time for money. However, you're getting a really good rate on your time. So that's one that, they're doing about a placement a week right now. It's really resonating. So excited about that one as well. And there you go. There's your top 10 with a little bonus 11, John.
I hope Fire Nation, you're sitting here and being like, wow, there are a wide array of opportunities here. And really, no matter what my passions, my excitement, my enthusiasm, my skills, the value, my knowledge that I can add to the world, there's something here for me. Like there's something here in one of these 11, or if you didn't necessarily hear in one of the 11, believe me, there's something in the franchise space for you out there. It's just a matter of talking to the right people or finding the right opportunity. So John, wow, tons of awesome stuff, really exciting. And of course, we can't go into uber depth in an interview when it comes to like financials and all the opportunities and the things. That's why, Fire Nation, you need to take the next step if you're interested and chat with John. So John, take us home, brother. What is the best process for deeper exploring these franchise opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely. And first I'll start off by saying it's entirely free. There's no cost to it to jump into the process and no obligation at all. For me personally, I get paid by the franchisors on the back end. It's a sales and marketing expense. None of that gets passed on to my clients in any form or fashion. So, what we work to do, there's around 4,000 brands out there, and that includes food brands. You cut that down, take out food, you're probably, cut it in half. We've vetted a little over 300 brands through the FCC, a franchise consulting company who I'm affiliated with. It's the largest brokerage in the US. I get to work with all the development groups, really see what's going on the back end of these emerging brands, get to know the leadership teams. And what we've done is we've really culled that down. So the way I work with clients, let's get on a call, spend some time, let me ask some questions. I kind of know what direction to go in that questioning. And then I'll have you fill out a questionnaire. Takes under 10 minutes, some background information, things you like, things you don't like. And then from there, I'll take a little bit of time. I'll check on territory availability in your area for the ideas that I have in mind. And ultimately, I'll present to you roughly 5 or 6 opportunities. We'll walk through on a Zoom call. I'll share my screen. We'll look at the websites. I'll give some context. And from there, we'll work together and narrow it down to roughly 3 to then take a next step with of actually having a call, speaking with. And then I like to hold my client's hand through the process. And we have a brief touch base call each week and serve as a sounding board, guide them to the funding options, the legal options when needed. And so really just handhold them through the process. And it's a lot of fun for me. Over 80% of my clients end up going with something that was never on their radar to begin with. So beginning to play matchmaker, help people figure out what that thing is what I'm most passionate about. So would love to engage with any of the listeners. Have had a lot reach out, after, like you said, after that first episode, and looking forward to hopefully, after getting some juices flowing here today with some ideas, I'm sure we'll have some great conversations.
I love that stat that 80% of people you talk with and work with end up going with something they hadn't even thought of. So Fire Nation, go into this with open mind. Just have a free conversation. Spend a little bit of your time, which of course is valuable, but what's your future success? Is that valuable as well? Have this free conversation, see where it leads you. You may be shocked by the end. So John, call to action. Where does Fire Nation go?
Yeah. So first off, begin thinking, listening to this episode of the type of business that might be right for you, some of the characteristics of it. And then reach out to me, john@frambridgeconsulting.com. No H in John, unlike our friend JLD. So John, Jon at frambridgeconsulting.com. Come to our website, sign up for our newsletter, connect with me on LinkedIn. Would love to engage.
And that's Fran Bridge, as in F-R-A-N. So John, Jon, at franbridgeconsulting.com. And Fire Nation, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You've been hanging out with J.O. and JLD today, so keep up the heat. And if you head over to eofire.com, type John in the search bar, and guess what? This episode will come up with the links to how you can email John if you can't remember his exact email address. And also the last episode, which if you're really excited about this, listen to that one as well if you haven't already, and get fired up for the free chat you're going to have with my man, J.O. So John, thank you for sharing your truth, knowledge, value with Fire Nation today. For that, we salute you, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Hey, Fire Nation. Today's value bomb content was brought to you by John, and Fire Nation's successful entrepreneurs accomplish big goals. That's why I created the Freedom Journal to guide you in accomplishing your number one goal in 100 days. And we're talking step by step. So visit thefreedomjournal.com, thefreedomjournal.com. Use promo code podcast for a $15 discount. And thank you for listening to my podcast. And I'll catch you there, or I'll catch you on the flip side. Ready to dig deeper on the creative side of business? Then the podcast Being Boss has you covered. Discover new tools to unravel the complexities of starting your own creative business with episodes on topics like building systems for freelancers and brand strategies. Listen, learn, and grow with Being Boss on the HubSpot Podcast Network at hubspot.com/podcast network. Ready to build a smart e-commerce business on Amazon with help from a software that has your back at every step? Then take advantage of this great offer from Helium 10. Get 50% off your first month of a Helium 10 Platinum account at helium10.com/fire. That's HELIUM10.com/fire.